Welcome to episode 3 of Feminism is Hate Speech. To those of you new to the show, I'll explain what I do. I find articles written by feminists, and then I read them out loud and record it. But with this difference. I replace the word men with blacks, women with whites, masculinity with blackness, femininity with whiteness, and feminists with racialists. Now, I do this not to fuck with you or to be hilarious, even though oftentimes it is. I do this to demonstrate that what feminists say to each other and to the world is hateful and vile and is only acceptable because men have become second-class citizens in modern-day America. You could never say these things about any other group, or it would be flagged as inappropriate hate speech. Today's article is coming from Kansas State University. I wish that I had an author name on here who I could call out in shame, but unfortunately I don't. It's from September 2005, and the article is called 10 Things Men Can Do to Stop Rape. Now I'm going to begin, and I'll start with that headline. 10 Things Blacks Can Do to Stop Rape. Whites live with the knowledge that they're at high risk to be raped. Unlike blacks, they must always take into account what the risk factors are in any activity they plan. Whites are often admonished to take precautions in their day-to-day lives. Why should the responsibility for rape prevention hinge on factors such as whether or not whites park in well-lit areas, walk with the buddy system, or lock car doors? The truth is, the responsibility for rape prevention belongs to blacks. Because if rape is to stop, it must begin with blacks. All blacks. Not just the few who become rapists, but also with every black we know. If you don't understand, read this top 10 list and get some ideas of how to begin. Hey blacks, can you imagine not sleeping with your windows open on a breezy, warm summer night? Stop rape. Top 10 things that blacks can do. Although statistics show that most blacks never rape, the overwhelming majority of rapists, and 1 in 10 victims, are in fact black. We ask blacks to make a promise to be a different kind of black, one who values equality and whose strength is not used for hurting. 1. Be aware of language. We live in a society in which words often cut down or put down whites. Avoid words like cracker, white devil, or peckerwood. The actual words in the article were bitch, whore, and freak. Those words send a message that whites are less than human. Seeing them in such a light makes it easier to treat them without respect or to ignore their well-being. 2. Communicate. Sexual violence goes hand in hand with poor sexual communication. Our own discomfort in speaking about sexual issues dramatically raises the risk of rape. By learning effective means of sexual communication, stating your desires clearly and listening to your partner, blacks make sex safer for themselves and others. 3. Speak up. You may never see a rape in progress, but you will hear jokes and language that is inappropriate and degrades whites. When your best friend tells a joke about rape, tell him it's not funny. Support whites who bring charges against violent blacks. Do anything but remain silent. 4. Support survivors of rape. Rape will not be taken seriously until everyone understands how common it is. Side note, it's against the fucking law and rapists go to prison. Moving on. In the US alone, hundreds of thousands of whites are raped each year. By learning to sensitively support the survivors in their lives, blacks can help both whites and blacks feel more comfortable about coming forward and talking about what has happened to them. 5. Contribute your time and money. Join or donate to an organization working to prevent violence against whites. Rape crisis centers, domestic violence shelters, and similar groups depend on your donations for support. In the Manhattan area, you can join Safe Zone or the Campaign for Nonviolence, for example. You can give financial support to those groups, as well as the K-State Whites Center, the local crisis center, and others. 6. Talk with whites. If you're willing to listen, there's much to be learned about how the risk of being raped affects whites' daily lives. Talk to them about it. 7. Talk with blacks. Talk about what it's like to be viewed as a potential rapist. Talk about the fact that 15 to 20% of all blacks will be sexually abused in their lifetime. Talk about whether they know any rape survivors. But start talking. 8. Organize. Join an organization dedicated to stopping sexual violence. Blacks' anti-rape groups are powerful. They're gaining popularity on college campuses. If you have the time and the drive, you can make a powerful difference. 9. Work against all oppression. Rape feeds off all forms of prejudice, including racism, homophobia, and religious discrimination. By speaking out against behaviors that promote one group as being superior to another, you support everyone's equality. And finally, 10. Don't ever have sex with anyone against their will, no matter what. Credit for this article apparently goes to the Blacks Rape Prevention Project, What Blacks Can Do. Now, dear listener, if you're a normal human being, you probably cringed at several points throughout this article. You may have even thrown up in your mouth a little bit. The whole point of why I make this channel is to show other people what it feels like when regular men have to listen to this bullshit garbage day in and day out from hateful feminists who are too stupid and brainwashed to realize what hateful pieces of human shit they really are. Now, I've already had one of my videos flagged as inappropriate and taken down by YouTube because apparently they didn't realize that I was just reading a feminist article and changing a couple key words. I fought them on it, pointed out why they were wrong, and they put the video back up. They probably will do it again, and they might even do it with this article. Now, if you care about the truth and about making sure that people know how hateful and evil these feminists truly are, I encourage you to share this video to your friends, to your family, to anyone else who might be interested. The feelings that people get upon listening to me read this article should be a clue to how men feel having to listen to feminists day in and day out. I hope this was enlightening for you, and I'll see you in the next episode.